in 3.
Okay, hi guys. Welcome to today's session. We are understanding self-directed learning. And to begin, um, my name is Eunice Babatunde, and my other team members are Kelly, John, and Jocelyn. So let's delve into it. What is SDL? SDL, according to a TED Talk host, Sean Gregory, says that traditional learning often involves a learning advocate, like a teacher or a lecturer, who measures how well you know something. But SDL flips the idea. It's when you yourself, the student, takes charge of your learning, you identify what you did, set your own goals, and find resources that aid your learning, and also regularly check all your progress all on your own. And why is SDL important? SDL is important because in our fast-changing world, traditional education sometimes falls short in preparing us for real-life changes, and self-directed learning fills the gap by encouraging adaptability and continuous learning. So, what are some of the benefits of SDL? SDL develops your critical thinking and problem solving skills because you apply what you learn to real life situations. Secondly, it boosts your motivation and engagement while you focus on topics that genuinely interest you. And finally, SDL prepares you for the real world by mimicking how the world learns and how the world learns outside the classroom and helping you to thrive in both your personal and professional life. So what are some of the questions that we can consider for the other learning outcomes is how can planning and time management improve your SDL experience, and how can you measure the impact of SDL beyond academic success? Just remember that SDL empowers you to take control of your learning journey and equips you for lifelong. Thank you.
Right. Hi, guys. So my part, I'm going to talk about planning and time management in self-directed learning. And what I would like to say is that without planning, it's easy to drift because you need smart goals, which must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So instead of saying, maybe I want to learn video editing, you could go with having a time frame, like I will finish a 60-second edited video by Sunday, so that you have a timeline to do. And then you could go down to break it into steps, like tutorials on Monday, practice on Tuesday, and then edits on Wednesday, and so forth until you reach Sunday. Then there's also the need to use tools like time boxing and the Pomodoro method to help you keep focused. And then have basic planner tools like Google Calendar. They do the job pretty well, which works either way. Next slide. So to use an example, I'm going to talk of an LU student who at some point juggled their capstone projects and the internship. And through this, they use the 90-minute framework, which is the work blocks daily. And this one probably boosted their GPA by 0.4 in a term. So that could have been one success in how these tools could be effective in self-directed learning. And then one thing I would also like to add is the Eisenhower matrix, which helps us talk about prioritizing things based on relevance and importance. So it cuts out the noise and focuses on what really matters. And I think the point is time management isn't just about doing more, it's about doing what matters most at the right time. And to leave you with two critical questions is it really self-directed learning if you're not planning in it? And what's one big goal you have, and how can time blocking help you reach it faster? Thanks, that's my part. I'm going to pass it on to my next colleague.
Hi everyone. Today I'll be discussing the role of self-directed learning in personal and professional development. First, for personal development, it allows individuals to take control of their own learning process. Instead of waiting for the teacher to assign topic, learner choose what to study based on their personal goals and interests. This makes learning more meaningful and boost confidence for the learner. For example, usually learner wait for the teacher to assign topic. However, in self-directed learning, individuals set subject theory that matter to them, which make the learning experience more relevant and engaging. Moreover, for professional development, again, it plays a critical role, especially in this fast-pacing, changing industry. Professionals who direct their own learning stay relevant by proactively updating their skills and without waiting for formal training, and they can also tell their learning to fit their specific job or industry needs. Lastly, I have two important questions related to the other learning outcome for us to consider. One, how can poor planning affect motivation and consistency in self-directed learning? And two, what tools what tools or strategy can learner use to evaluate their progress without external feedback? Thank you. Let me hand the mic to my colleague.
So, hi everyone. We're going to talk about how self-assessment matters in self-directed learning. So, self-assessment is a core part of self-directed learning because it helps become aware of our strengths and weakness as learners. When we evaluate ourselves, we take ownership of our progress rather than relying on others to tell us how we are doing. It also encourages us to reflect on what strategies are working and where we need to improve. This process not only boosts our confidence, but also helps us to set goals and stay motivated. Also, as Norris once stated, self-assessment is not just a skill, it's a habit that shapes lifelong learners. And also, how self-assessment powers progress. Self-assessment helps us to track our progress and make smart adjustments to how we learn. For example, a student through her weekly reflection journal, he may be spending too much time on spending note taking, but once he or she shifted the strategy to include more active practice, her grades can improve. And also tools like journals, rating scales, or learning portfolios can guide this reflection process. These practices also help us to stay on track, think critically about learning, and improve continuously. Next slide, please. Next slide. So these are the references we used. So thank you.
All right. To wrap it up, I have a question we can use to end the session. Is there any way self-directed learning can make you antisocial? Because if you're always in your house teaching yourself and you never come outside to learn or meet people, wouldn't that make you antisocial? Or what does everybody think?
Selena, are you going to answer that? Was the question posed to everyone in the group so I can come up and answer? Okay, so yeah, I don't think it will make you antisocial because basically that's the moment you're using to direct learning on yourself. So it's productivity on your work. But after that, of course, you're free to associate and do all these things. I think the essence of it is to own your learning, not basically exclude yourself and focus on your learning, but it is to own when it's time to learn, then you own your learning. I think that's what I can add for my part.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming today. See you in our next meeting.